Hi guys, Vechs here, and I've got a slightly different version of the Starbound monster grinder to show to you today. My last one was not automated at all. You just ran around on it and collected the pixels. I wanted to make something that you could AFK on and just go completely AFK and soak up the pixels that way. It was not very hard to make. It was a very obvious next step, and I actually explained it in my first Starbound monster farm, is that I was going to make a pyramid shape, an inverted pyramid shape. And I went ahead and made it. It was super easy. It was actually surprisingly easy to set up and construct. It's this shape right here that you see. It's a Y shape. And I set up the turrets here. I think I need to go heal these turrets. I think I just click on them like this. Yeah. And as you can see, I've got the turrets alternating where they're facing to make sure that even if something is in here, it can still be shot at by, like, say if the monster's clipped inside here, it can be shot at by this turret. Anyway, the reason this works is a very simple mechanic. Let me get in my AFK chair. When you're sitting in chairs, your hunger doesn't go down. So, let's see. Let me eat this and top off my hunger. But when you're sitting in chairs and beds, your hunger doesn't go down. So you can just AFK here. And the shape I have this arranged in with the little cap on the top of it keeps birds from flying in. But the reason this works is because the drops will go down this slope here, as long as you keep a gentle slope, and you'll pick them up through the wall. So at this point, I can just go AFK for as long as I want to, and the drops will just keep on coming, and my hunger will never go down, and I'm pretty sure I am completely safe here. If you're absolutely paranoid about it, you could just... if you're super paranoid about being safe in here, all you have to do is just do something like that, and maybe something like this, and then, and then get back in your chair, and there you go. So just get up in the sky a little bit, out of the range of the the ground spawns, and this is not as fast as my previous grinder, because you miss out on some of the bird spawns, like those that spawned below the ramp. Anything that spawns below the ramp, you miss out on. Now I could make a second ramp going upwards, where my mouse cursor is here at the bottom, going upwards like this, to catch like another lane, but I wouldn't be in position to pick up those drops, and I believe they would disappear after a while. The entire point of this design is that while it's slower, you can just go AFK completely. So effectively, I've got unlimited pixels now, in addition to these other drops here for crafting armor, the cell materia, and the monster plate. I think this works great, and the gun turrets cost resources now. They're kind of expensive, but I found you could probably get away, this design can get away with just 8 turrets, I bet. And I think 8 turrets is they're like 500 pixels a piece and some bars. It's not that expensive to make, so there's that too. Although I did find out, I think the turrets are intended for you to make them with the like wired crafting table. They're still in my 3D printer, and they cost 1 pixel to make. But even if I didn't get them for 1 pixel, and I made them what I believe is normally made from the wire, like red wire crafting table thing, I forget what it's called. Even if I made them there, it's definitely in the realm of doable. They're not that expensive to make. It's like 500 pixels, some titanium, and I think a few other things. So getting just 8 turrets, not that hard to do. Especially when On a gamma planet, I found that when I go caving, I can easily get 5,000 pixels reasonably quick with a caving run, you know, about an hour or two of gameplay. But you've been seeing it run here. I'm not sure how many pixels an hour this will generate for you. I suppose I could just leave the game running for an hour. Yeah. I may actually do that. I may actually do like some sort of sped up speed, and you can just see it. Now, I don't think you can leave this running AFK forever. I believe the turrets are going to eventually run out of ammunition, and you'll need to go click on each one of them to refresh the ammunition on it. Or reset it, or whatever is going on there. You can see the turrets have some sort of bar that depletes as they shoot. So you'll have to keep that in mind. So yeah, you can go AFK with it, but I wouldn't go AFK overnight with it. The turrets are going to break down and stop working. Which, you know, that's fine. You have to maintain your turrets every now and then. So, but you could probably AFK for maybe an hour. I tell you what, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to top off all the turrets' energy, and then I'm just going to go AFK and let this thing record, and I'm going to see how it runs. So I'll do that. Hey guys, I'm back. Okay, so that was 20 minutes of farming, and it looks like we got about 3,000 there, so I can extrapolate that as a rate of about 9,000. Now let's just call it 10,000 10,000 pixels an hour, much slower than my active grinder. And this is because of several reasons. One, the active one was taking a much higher sample rate, harvest rate, excuse me, not sample rate, harvest rate of enemies than this one, because we're only accessing birds that are spawning in part of the sky and are going into this area here. I would say on this style of grinder, you definitely should probably check it every 20 minutes like clockwork. 20 minutes seems to be about how long all these turrets stay active for, so I think that's a pretty nice even number if you want to try it. As far as ways to improve this, I actually have a way to improve this. I have an idea here. And I think it's going to work because the items that come down, I'm going to test it here. Let's poke a hole here and make this thinner. I'm going to do it on the opposite side as well. I'm going to take the 3 blocks off of this. And I think we can just put these back here. So I'm going to sit here, and we'll have to wait a second on these pixels coming down. Alright, they're getting closer. I want to see at what point the pixels will jump through the wall and be picked up into my inventory. I want to say it's going to be where my cursor is, right about here. Oh, nope. Not quite. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so they fall off right there. So if I put that right there and give them one more block. Alright, never mind then. I kind of had a plan. I was going to make something I was going to call bird pipes. And basically what this was going to do was going to route the birds inwards here. Now, out of curiosity, if I make this out of the stairs here, the birds would be able to actually get through that. But I don't think the pixels will... Let me take my seat again. I don't think the pixels will actually go through. I mean, yeah, they stop there. Damn. Well, that's not good. Guess I'll go pick them up. So that was my... I had an idea while I was watching it. I was just sitting here watching the thing, and I was gonna make bird pipes to get the pixels, get the birds routing them through a tunnel, basically. Oh, that looks horrible. I gotta fix this. There we go. And what I was going to do was, you see how the birds like to fly around, and I guess I'll leave the top there. I was basically going to have like a shape coming in. The birds would fly under here, and I was going to make a ramp going down like this. Follow my cursor here and imagine that. Like that. And then another one coming up this way. And I was going to, like, the birds would fly into it and be funneled. And what I was going to do is let them be funneled up here and fly through, like, a gap like right this. And they would, I'd seal this off here. Like that. And so I'll do that. Seal this off. And I would seal that up, and they would fly up here and fly upwards and get killed by the turrets, and then their drops would come back down. But because this needs to be a specific width, I don't think that's going to work. Like, the pixels need to be closer to me than this allows for, and I don't think the birds can actually fit through this gap. So I don't think that's going to work, although I might come back in the future and investigate that design. There could be like one-sided designs, maybe. Like, you let birds only come from one direction, and then have all the gun turrets facing one way. And you would have to use a lot of blocks to just fill up all the spawning area on one side. And then let them come from one direction. And then you could make tubes to funnel them into a killing area. I think that could work, but that's a much more expensive build. You're going to have to take a lot of time to make that. This model, I like it a lot because it was cheap and I was able to build it really fast. So it's cheap to build and fast to build. And I'm pretty sure you can get away with just using like 8 turrets, maybe these 8 right here. This row, this row, this row, and this row. You don't necessarily have to have the other ones. I would say definitely you want to check it every minute though. So I guess that's it. I hope you guys like this. I don't know if you need something like this, but if you just want to easily generate pixels and you want to be able to just go AFK while you do it, I'm thinking actually maybe what I might do is in these areas down here is make a bunch of farms. So I can just go AFK and let farm crops grow and also be generating pixels at the same time. So I think that would be really cool. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you like this design, and I'll step outside here and poke a tiny hole in the roof for me to jump out of. So here's the design. It goes up to about here. Make sure one last thing is don't do that. Don't do that. Cap cap it like that, because the drops on this side will just sit here. It needs to be just one block like this, and it'll start them coming down. And just a bunch of ramps, I mean, not ramps, platforms, yeah. And the drops come down, and they get caught, and they funnel down in. So yeah, that's it. That's the design. Let me show you, let me go back down here and show you just how far up I had to go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Basically nine jumps in length. I'll use jumps in length to get up there. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope if you want to, you don't need to make this. I think you can go caving and get pixels, but if you're on a planet and you've been caving a while and it's your home planet maybe, and if you want to have farms there and you want to go AFK and let your crops grow, there's no reason that you couldn't make this as well and be getting pixels while you're waiting on your crops and your trees to grow. I think this is a great addition that any main player base should have. Just a pixel grinding room, especially if you're making something and you need pixels to make it. And what if you don't feel like going out and farming for ores or for monsters, and you just want to generate the pixels within your base without having to leave your base, and you want to do it with 0 effort, and you want to do it by just going AFK. This is what you would use to do that. So there you go, a fully automatic AFK monster farm / pixel farm in Starbound. I almost said Terraria. you guys on that last video, you let me have it on that one. I didn't hear the end of it, that's for sure. Anyway, alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all next video. Until then, take it easy.